I don't even have a plaque or anything on the drums to identify them. The only way I can identify my drums is that I sign them inside. So you have to actually get a look inside to know, unless you can identify my work, you have to get a look inside to be sure that I made it.
You sign it in Hebrew, don't you?
Hebrew and English, yeah. This is called rolling the hard way. In a while, I'm going to roll these the easy way, but presently this is called rolling steel the hard way. And as you can see why. What they mean by the hard way actually is they mean rolling it on edge, which is the hard way to roll steel. I went to a large auction when I first started. The Well-Built Stove Company had an auction. They were selling all these power presses and stuff, which I couldn't afford and couldn't use anyway. Enormous machines. At the end of the auction, I had spotted this roller at the back end. And I approached the people who were running the auction. And I asked them when they were going to start auctioning this off. And they said, auction that off? You mean you want that? And I said, yeah. So the guy said, well, he says, give me 35 bucks. I gave him $35, took it home, and had to clean the gears up a little bit, but it didn't take too much to get it going well. After a few minutes, I'm going back into the other room. I got to trim these and rivet them together. Then I got to come back in here and mark where the holes are going to be. Then I got to go back in the room and drill the holes. All right. This was a whole anvil once. I lent it to a guy next door who was making signs, and he was using a sledgehammer on it. And he gave it back to me in 2 pieces. I guess he felt he did me a favor since I only gave him 1 piece. But I liked it better the way it was. It belonged to my father. He probably stole it once. Amazing thing, my father taught me not to steal, but he did. So I don't. He would now, but he can't anymore. We used to have a lot of jams and rumbas and stuff going on here at one time, but I had to put a stop to it because I couldn't get any work done. The people were all over the place, and they were scratching up my work. I do miss the rumbas. I thought I'd be doing a lot more of that when I started doing this. That's why I started to do this. I hadn't played in many years, and I thought I'd be playing. But frankly, presently, I don't even own a conga. There's one that's supposed to belong to me. I started it 2 years ago. It's in the corner up there. Ray Baretto's been trying to beat me out of it for a while. But I know if I let him have it, I'll never start another one for myself. I think I deserve to have one, right?
Jay, when you do that, do you think of that as a male instrument or a female instrument?
Truthfully, I never gave it a sex.
No?
No, I don't think so. I'll tell you what, maybe at one time I thought of it as a male instrument because, well, I played it, and the only other people I knew that really played well were men. I knew some girls that used to fool around with playing, but now I know some women that play pretty well, you know? And I think, even though I'm 47 years old, and so I'm of an age where there were different views in this world, right? I think my point of view has changed considerably as to the roles of men and women, but not necessarily, you know, completely. That's another sphere altogether. In other words, if you can do the job, you got the job. Right. But if you can't do the job, you ain't got it. All right. All right. See, what I got to do is I got to tack all of these together, let it cool, chip it off, and turn it over and do the other side. Piece of 1/2 inch by 4 inch cold rolled steel by 1/8 of an inch thick. There it is.
So you don't do any advertising? You don't
No,
have emblems
Nothing, none of that.
And do you ever need to?
No, I can't produce enough to cover that. Right now, I'm getting more people coming in. You know, they ask the musicians what they're playing and like that. I get more people coming in off the street than I can handle, though that doesn't necessarily mean that this is a great ongoing business because my production's so low. I would like to see the time that I can produce enough to necessitate an advertisement, you know, but it's just that production being so low, I can't justify advertising. And knock it down so that just the corners are exposed and shear these corners off. Start off of here. I'm gonna take this and clamp it on just shy of the top of the rim. All right, now drill us another hole here. Put it in the hole. Take my rivet set. Draw it up. Draw it up again, like before. Now I'm going to set this rivet all the way. So, flatten this one out. Flatten this one out a little bit better. Take the head. This part draws the rivet up. Now this part puts the head on. And you're going to see that. Yeah, there's a head on this one, no head on the other. Now I'm going to put the head on the other one. There. Okay. Slide it in and bend it outward slightly. That allows enough room for the flesh rim to go in when we're putting the skin on the drum, and that's it. Now it's got to either go to the chrome plate or the black oxer. This one's going to go to the black ox, man. It's going to get made all nice and black and shiny. Something similar to this if I were to clean a spot. Yeah. All right. I actually prefer this process to black oxing. I mean to chrome plating, because aside from the expense, chrome platers tend to in the polishing polish my welds away, polish the heads of my rivets off. It's got to be polished to a mirror finish before it's chrome plated, and what happens is that they frequently weaken areas on the rings so that they don't perform properly. You know, make one area bend or even break sometimes.
So you send those out to get...
Yeah, the metal finishing, in other words, the black oxing or the chrome plating, is a process that's done outside the shop. It's about the only process I can think of that's done outside the shop to something that's already been worked on here. I don't cut my own trees, and I don't dry my own lumber. That gets dried at the dry kiln, and the skins are prepared elsewhere. I mount them and I take care of them in here, but the rawhide itself is fabricated from animal hides, you know, from steer hide. So aside from that, I do every other process in the shop. It's probably my problem. Okay. might be something like skin on skin.
A little up high.
You'd like to order a quinto. Okay, where are you calling from? Are you calling from the United States or? Mm-hmm. I see. Okay, because I'm expecting a call from Switzerland and you sound like you might be European. Okay, you are. Okay, yeah. Okay, fine. It's possible, except that there's a deposit required. And have you seen my drums? Mm. Oh, right. Okay, I've made 2 drums for people from Greece. The mahogany one. Oh, that was about 2 years ago. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. No, I'll tell you frankly. It could have a walnut stain. It could be cherry wood. Okay, it could be oak or it could be ash wood. Okay, cherry wood is pretty nice. It resembles mahogany a little, but it's not quite as dark. Okay, oak does not resemble it. It makes a nice drum. It's more expensive. Well, oak comes standard either with chrome or black ox and stainless steel bands. The other drums come either with chrome or with black ox hardware, but the bands, the standard bands for the chrome plating would be cold-rolled steel bands, which tend to tarnish in time. In other words, they discolor after a while. The stainless steel does not discolor, but it costs extra. Okay, what exactly are you asking for now? You got to tell me, what are you looking for, an oak drum? Okay. Okay, oak is $345 no matter what the size, except for the tumbadora, which is $355. Now, in cherry, that same drum would be $280. I used to use slotted screws and put everyone in by hand because I thought that maybe it would take away from the handmade quality of the product. But it's kind of foolish, I guess. Used to do an awful lot of screwdriver turning. Got a bolt, nut, washer, backup plate, and cleat. All right? I once counted all the pieces that go into a drum. Came out to nearly 300. Sounds strange, but it is. You know, if you're going to count every little piece. It might be more than that. I don't know. I think I might have given up patience. Rumba in itself is a kind of it's Cuban street music. And it's strange that the thing we value most probably that comes out of Cuba was one of the things that was really put down in Cuba. It was considered to be rowdy music. A rumbero is a rowdy. It's a street rowdy. He's considered to be a primitive, uncultured, uneducated individual. But of course, you know, that's not true. He's got his culture. He's got his own culture. And many Cubans, I've had people of Afro-Cuban descent come to me and express an interest in what I'm doing here and in the drums. And when I asked them, you know, whether or not they're from Cuba, didn't they ever take an interest while they were in Cuba? I was sort of surprised. They said that their parents wouldn't allow them to do it. That their parents wouldn't drink rum, they would drink champagne, and that they were basically trying to act like what they thought were cultured individuals. But now as adults, they have a longing for this kind of music. I can see why. I think it's some of the most beautiful stuff there is. Put it up. It's good carbon steel. Comes from Solingen in Germany. And it gets really sharp. Okay. Now I'm going to trim this. I might take the spare piece home for my dog, let it dry. I can make a rawhide dog chew out of it if I want. All right, and you tie another knot here. It'd be better with a pair of scissors, I guess, but you take this and you do this, and you let it dry. And you get this to Poochie when it dries up real good. All right? Fido, whatever the hell he is. I'll call my dog Dopey. Okay. What it boils down to is there's something I'm trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Now, I might try it and not completely succeed. So then I want to find out why I didn't completely succeed.
That's right.
And that's when I start trying to do research. Many of the things I do, I have not found in books. What I'm looking at is the relationship between the top of the drum and this edge here. I want to keep it running fairly level, though it's not terribly critical now. By tomorrow, I should have these running really parallel with each other, okay? And I should have pulled it down to about 5/8 of an inch or so. And then probably, when it's finished, about 3/4 of an inch. I learned more about wood and how to have a much greater reverence for it now than I did when I started. I thought I knew something about metal, having worked with metal for 20 years, and I found that there was an awful lot about metal that I didn't know that I've learned since. I didn't realize really, you know, quite what a field it was. And it took me a while to learn what I didn't know. You know, not to learn what I didn't know as, you know, that I've studied it and now I know it.
Yeah.
But to learn that there was much that I didn't know, you know. And I am still always trying to learn more.